Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Brandon here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is John, and he's selling his affiliate and Amazon Associates business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, John, and how are you doing today?
Hey Brandon, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you on the call today and talk to you about this awesome business you've created. But before we get into the details of the business, let's give a general overview. So it is an affiliate and Amazon Associates business in the culinary niche created in June 2016. The average monthly revenue for the business is $9,960 and makes an average of $8,531 per month in net profit. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 52825 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, what's included in the sale is the primary domain and all site content and files, an additional .com domain and all site content and files, and 5 additional domains used as 301 redirects with a Facebook account. So, John, can you tell us a little bit about your background in running and building online businesses?
Sure. So, to give you the TLDR, I guess, I have been in the online marketing, digital marketing space now for the best part of 8 years. I've built a successful agency working predominantly with e-commerce businesses as well as a successful productized service business. And, one of the logical next steps was to build a portfolio of affiliate websites or brands, if you will, since we have all of the resources and both financially and the team to create those. And so over the course of the last sort of, I want to say 3 or 4 years, we've been building up a pretty decent sized portfolio of affiliate brands. And this happens to be one of them.
That's amazing that, you've been in the space for a while now. You have some years of experience in this area. So I'm curious, where the business primarily make money? Is most of it coming through the affiliate side, or is a majority of the revenue being generated through the Amazon Associates income?
So in this particular case, the majority of the income is coming from, I want to say, direct affiliates or the affiliate platforms. A smaller percentage is coming through Amazon, which we've designed on purpose. As I'm sure you'll remember, I think it was last year when Amazon dropped the hammer and massively slashed commissions in multiple regions. We wanted to hedge against that. And since pretty much day one, we've always been looking for Amazon alternatives to partner up with.
Yeah, that's really great that you've diversified your revenue source for this affiliate business as well, too. And yeah, everyone kind of felt that pain when that happened last year once those commission prices went down. And it's something that we've all been feeling. But yeah, it's really great that you were able to diversify those income streams, since day one. So it's really great to hear. Now, why go into the culinary niche specifically? Was there something during, the early stages of growing these affiliate sites that you saw as a great opportunity within this niche?
Totally honest with you, not at all. We bought the site of somebody who had it as a passion project. We got a great deal and it was hardly making any money at all multiple years ago. And, we thought, why not give it a punt? Worked on it very, very passively for a couple of years and here we are.
Okay, that's really awesome. And great that you saw that opportunity at an early stage and been able to grow the business to this level now. That's really awesome. So if the business is doing so great at this time, John, why is it that you've decided that now you would like to sell it?
Well, I'll be honest with you, this is the same reason why we have another listing on EF at the moment. We're really trying to downsize the portfolio and double down on a couple of the projects that we've got going on that have ultimately in the long term a much, much larger potential. And we just can't spread ourselves too thin. And so as things go on, we want to make sure that we've got the resources to really focus on those few projects with all of our focus rather than a little bit of focus on lots of projects.
Yeah, completely understandable is, wanting to make sure that all of your efforts are going towards like key projects is really important. As you had mentioned, not spread yourself too thin, which a lot of us tend to do a lot. Now, was there anything that you learned while growing this business that you plan on applying to current or maybe future projects down the road?
For sure. I mean, one of the key things that's been really, really good with this business is the relationships that we've been able to build up with the affiliate managers that we're working with. And to a point where now, especially with one of the brands driving most of the revenue, they will literally send us products ahead of the launch so that we can have reviews ready for them, photos ready for them, etc., which is something that, we hadn't done or we weren't able to do in the past. But now using this sort of as our case study, if you will, we've been able to replicate it across a couple of other projects. And that's really great because it just adds so much value to what you're doing.
Yeah, that's amazing that you're able to have that connection and you're able to get some of those products ahead of time to boost those reviews that you offer on the site. So that's really awesome to hear that. Now, was there anything that you tried with this business and it just didn't give you the ROI that you were anticipating?
We have a couple of accessories to the main product that we've also reviewed just to kind of fill out the whole niche. And to be honest with you, those sell in good numbers, but the commissions are so tiny that it's almost not worth doing. And any interested buyers, when they review the P&L, they will see the Amazon earnings.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So where would you say then the majority of your traffic is coming from? Is most of it coming in through organic search traffic, or are you running any type of PPC advertising or any other type of ad spend to get traffic into the site?
Sure. So currently, the majority of the traffic is coming in via organic, and then the other large portion is coming in via PPC. We've set up, I think it's literally 4 or 5 ad campaigns that are running very successfully and have practically no maintenance requirement. And in saying that, also probably opens up one of the biggest improvement opportunities is for somebody with serious PPC know-how, which I don't have, to go in and improve those campaigns that are already profitable to make them even more profitable.
Yeah, it's a really great opportunity. And already having the foundation in the campaigns and a bit of data for the buyer to use to scale further is also a really great asset to include. So that's really awesome to hear that. Are you doing anything in terms of marketing for the business, outside of just the general content publishing? Are you using, let's say, the Facebook account or any other forms of marketing for the business at this time?
No, the only thing that we have done is very, very sporadically, we'll actually record a proper review video of one of the products so that we can add it to the landing page. And we do have a YouTube channel, which, as I'm saying that, I remember we have to include, obviously. But I think that the YouTube channel has maybe 3 videos on it. And the Facebook page, which was also included, has basically no action on it. So we don't run any Facebook ads. We don't post to the Facebook page. We don't have an email list. All of those things that a potential buyer could improve upon.
Yeah, absolutely. Just seeing those low-hanging fruits already as great potential for a buyer to come in. And if they have some of that knowledge or those skill sets to build out and scale those platforms further, that could also increase the traffic, which is a really great opportunity. Now, hypothetically speaking, John, if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways that you would personally try and grow it?
A couple of things. So one of the things is definitely email and Facebook, just because I know that with a effective Facebook retargeting campaign, it could potentially do better. The products are fairly high value and thus the commissions are pretty decent. And so retargeting could work. A lot of people say that PPC doesn't work in affiliate. We've proven that wrong by having the right products. The other thing is email, just as in sort of trying to build a bit more of a community and, letting people that haven't yet pulled the trigger know when new accessories and new products come out. I think that could be really beneficial. And then one of the things that I think is actually a little bit underrated in the description of this listing is the other domain that's coming with this business is actually a fully fledged US version of the UK site that we're selling. But because it's not generating any income yet, that's why it's not shown in the P&L, etc. But that would be another one that I would really, really pursue in the long term, is the ranking and monetizing of that US version.
Yeah, it's amazing that you already have that established for the potential buyer to come in and already having the foundation for that domain and some of the basic structure in place for them to come in and utilize some SEO tactics to grow the organic traffic further is a really great opportunity. So that's great that you already have that established for the potential buyers. And, I'm sure those listening to the call can also see the value in that and the foundation you've created for them. Now, can you walk us through what are some of the typical work tasks or maybe some of the weekly operations that you're performing on the business at this time?
So realistically, the only thing that we're carrying out at the moment is a product check or audit, if you will, to see what's in stock and what isn't, to make sure that we prioritize the listing of products over others. So for example, if one of our best sellers is sold out, we might move it into a different ranking position just to drive more traffic to what would have been the second or third product in our listing, meaning that we can kind of not drive too much traffic to a page that ultimately just says out of stock. And then the other thing that we do every now and then is just look for new products and order content for them. But that's quite literally it. On the monthly jobs, the only thing that happens there is I review the PPC campaign for maybe half an hour. Again, as I said earlier, I'm not an expert, so I always try to avoid doing more harm than good by spending too much time adjusting knobs and dials. And then on the accounting side, the only thing that we do once a month is that we've got one affiliate that doesn't have automatic payments. We send them an invoice, and that's about it.
Okay. So pretty straightforward in terms of the operations on the weekly basis. And when you mentioned ordering content, so are you outsourcing a lot of the written content on this website to, let's say, freelancers or maybe outsourced VAs or?
Yeah, so right now we just use like content writing services, but once you review the P&L, you'll see how infrequently we actually order content for the site. And so we haven't got like a dedicated writer to this project that's being included in the sale.
Okay. Now, how often are you publishing new articles? Is this something that you do once or twice a month, or is it maybe more frequent than that?
It might be once a month if we're lucky. When I say it's infrequent, it's really infrequent.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Ultimately, for the buyer, they could come in and maybe utilize a team of writers that they already have in place, or maybe they already have a few freelancers or writers that they outsource to that they could transition over into this business. So it's great that you kind of have already established that roadmap as well. Now, on this subject of sort of the weekly and daily operations you're performing on the business, do you feel that there's any particular skill set that a buyer should have prior to acquiring this business? Or do you think that majority of the workload and the operations can be learned during the transition period?
We're super happy to provide, training to a potential buyer in regards to, how the site functions, how the theme functions and maintenance of that. I think having basic WordPress knowledge is quite helpful because ultimately, that person's going to have to go in and make edits if they want to change products around or anything like that. And having, a good foundational knowledge of SEO would help them, move the site forward. One of the things that's really important to note as well when looking at this particular project is that the site has been making more and more money month on month over time. And so what I'm trying to say is I really recommend somebody look at the P&L when listening to this, because what they'll see is that the recent months have pretty much all been way above the average earning. And so even if it were to take somebody a couple of months to get a grip on how everything works or what they want to do with it, they probably are going to make a pretty nice monthly return on this.
Yeah, it's great that it's been showing these projections and, the revenue and the traffic numbers going up as well. That's always a really great sign. But I'm curious on the flip side of that, what do you feel are maybe some of the potential risks associated with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
I mean, probably the same as with any website that gets a lot of its traffic from organic is the fact that we never know what way the algorithm is going to go. And just like any other website, it could be affected by that. We've tried to mitigate that risk as much as possible by also having the PPC income stream, which is obviously, algorithm independent, if you will, or at least algorithm independent. And yeah, I mean, that's really the biggest thing. We haven't done a whole lot of link building, so there's not a huge risk from, there are no PBNs or anything like that. So I feel pretty confident that this project is going to continue to do well. But like you said, there's always risk involved in these kind of projects.
Yeah, with content businesses, for the majority of the time, your organic traffic is at the sake of the algorithm, as always, and it's what has made SEO what it is today, I guess. Yeah, so that's completely understandable. And when you mentioned that you haven't done much building the backlink profile, have you done any type of like guest post outreach or maybe guest post exchanging in order to gain backlinks, or have you gained most of these backlinks for the site organically?
We built a couple of links throughout the campaign, not very many, and we'll supply the buyer with a complete list of all the links that we've built. And then in addition to that, there are a couple of 301s, like you mentioned at the beginning of the call, 3 of them already in place when we bought the site of the previous owner, and we've literally just maintained them. We own the domains, and we would recommend that a buyer does the same. Then the last one that we put in place very, very recently, which is a domain that we just were able to acquire that was very, very topically relevant, where we thought, hey, this is a great domain, and we're going to put a 301 in place here. And that one's included as well.
Yeah, that's great that you already have, some of these additional domains included to help boost the site even further. And I'm sure our potential buyers can also see the value in that fact as well, too. Now, John, are you willing to commit to a non-compete, meaning for the next 3 years, once the deal is finished, you'll stay out of this specific niche?
Yeah, on a subject to contract basis, super happy to stay out of the specific niche, both in the UK and the US or internationally. Like I said, it just kind of depends on how that's put into the paperwork. But in principle, there's absolutely no problem with that.
Okay, perfect. And then how much support are you willing to offer potential buyers? Are you going with the typical 30 days of email and Skype support or call support? Or did you have something in addition that you would like to add on to that?
We'll probably offer the 30 days of, Skype and call support. Now, I'm pretty flexible when it comes to that. If somebody came to me and said the only way I can buy this is if you stretch that to 60 days, then, we can have a chat about it. Always very helpful.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm sure our buyers as well can also see the value in that added support that you're wanting to see the business go on and succeed as well, too. So that's really great to hear. Now, are you open to negotiating something like an earnout where you'll receive a large portion of the sales price up front and then smaller payments closing out the deal, say, over the course of a few months after that?
Not too keen on this particular listing, to be honest with you. We'd prefer an all-cash offer.
Yeah, completely understandable as well, considering the effort and the projections that the business is showing. So yeah, completely understand on that side. Now, just a few more sideline questions for you, John, while we wrap this up. So what advice would you give to our listeners that you wish you knew when you first started this business?
Reach out to your affiliate managers and schmooze them. That definitely works. Invest in, very high quality content. What you pay is what you get. And, play the long game. The site did, I think, sub $500 for a couple of years. When we bought it, we continued to build it and invest into it, and now it's cracked 5 figures a month. So those are a couple of things that I can pass on.
Yeah, no, it's really solid advice and really great to hear your take on that as well, too. Now, final question, wrapping up the call. So putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you feel that your business is worth buying?
Buyer is essentially getting a great deal on the basis that EF values what they see to be seasonal businesses on a 12-month valuation, whereas this business only started having a significant increase in revenues about 5 months ago, I want to say. And so ultimately somebody's getting a really, really good deal by buying something that's valued at 12 months when all of the big profit was made in the last 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, seeing that much of a growth rate within just the last 5-6 months, as you had mentioned, is a really great opportunity for a buyer to come in and utilize some of the low-hanging fruit opportunities that this business offers to really scale it to its full potential. And I'm sure our listeners out there and buyers as well can also see the value in that. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up this call. Was there anything else that you'd like to add, John, that I might have missed?
Not at all. I think we covered it all very well.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, thanks again for jumping on the call and really appreciate hearing your story and kind of where this business has come over the years and you managing it. And I'm sure we'll be seeing this listing getting sold for you here in the near future.
Thanks so much for having me, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Yep, same here. Thanks, John. And all right, everyone. So thanks for listening. To learn more and to see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 52825. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.